Giving all praises to the mighty Yahweh. Want to give a shout out to Osiris. All right. This is his material, and we're going to go over some of his material today to get an understanding on how to say F child support. So let's get into it.
Hotep. I am the Amen Osiris, the one and only undisputed God of law. We are Deception Stoppers, America's only 4D education service. I am not a lawyer. This is not a law firm. We do not advocate that you don't support your human offspring. We simply advocate you made them in private, take care of them in private. All right, and today what I'm going to teach you is that Title 4D, the 4D crime family that operates in the state, and I don't give a rat's behind who says what. The 4D crime family is not a state agency. It is a federal agency operating in the state. Okay, that's it. Now.
Okay. Now, what does that really mean, though? A federal agency that works with the state. That means it's a franchise like McDonald's. It's a for-profit. That's why it has different regular people that own child support. Go to the Secretary of State website and type in child support under businesses, and there's individuals who own child support. It's not a state agency. All right. It's a franchise like McDonald's. They're making bank. All right. But let's continue, though.
As I told you, you don't have to reinvent the wheel when it comes to 4D. Okay? All you have to do is go to their website, read it, and break down every word. And so for today's example, I'm in Massachusetts website. And look, here's a lie. Look, Massachusetts.gov, mass.gov. All right? The Child Support and Enforcement Agency in Massachusetts is not a government agency. It is a private corporation that simply operates in Massachusetts under a contractual obligation. They are performing contractual obligations, which is 100% voluntary, and we'll get to that in a minute. All right.
Okay. And what does that mean, though? That means they are working with the state. They're not part of the state, just like Children's Services when they're stealing children. They're not a state agency, but they make an illusion like you got to let these people in your house. If they do not have a warrant, Children's Services cannot come in the house. But let's continue, though.
So this is their website. All right. And I don't care what state you're in. Go to the website. All right. One thing that I've taught you is to tear down every word. All right. And we're going to do that right here. Okay. Now, according to Massachusetts Child Support Enforcement Agency, they say we provide services to parents who pay child support and parents and caretakers who receive child support. Child support is a way for parents to share the financial responsibility for their child, even when they do not live together. Either parent or the child's caretaker can apply for our services to establish paternity, get an order determining a child's legal father, or to get, enforce, or change a child support order. Okay? Now, let's have some fun. Okay? And gentlemen, this is admissible in any court of law. Okay? If you're going to a 4D hearing, that is not a court of law. All right? You're not seeing a judge. You're not seeing a prosecutor. All right? If you get arrested, you're not getting arrested by a sheriff. You're getting arrested by a contractor. All these people.
Okay, so this is a good understanding. I think that might go over people's head. Child support, they're bribing people. It's illegal what they're doing. So therefore, you cannot be a contractual sheriff. You cannot work for McDonald's because child support is just like an LLC, and a sole proprietorship is a business just like McDonald's. It's not a government agency. So you cannot have a McDonald's bribe the sheriff to go and arrest you. All right? These agencies are doing things under the color of law, under contract law. But I'm going to let him talk about it.
Are contractors operating outside of the Constitution, which is the law. Okay? So 4D crime family equals service provider. What is a service provider? A service provider is an individual or entity that provides services to another party. The relationship is typically governed by a service agreement, which is what? A contract. Okay? So the 4D crime family, they're simply a service provider. Look.
If you live in a qualified zip.
I'm not going to listen to that. But I like what he was saying. They're a service provider, and even when you have a let's say for instance you are a guardian. I looked in the guardianship laws. When you're a guardian, you can't have any interest in your ward service provider. If you want to be a guardian for somebody and be somebody be your ward, and their service provider is offering money, you can't have no interest in that money. But there's guardians like mine that are interested in child support service provider because it's a service.
We provide services. That makes them a service provider, nothing more. It's not a government agency. So now, I pulled this off of which one? This was New Jersey's. I pulled it off of. All right. So this agreement, this service agreement, is contract. Okay. These are the contract terms, and don't take my word for it, gentlemen. Look it up. Go to any 4D. What do you call that application? And they all say this. Trust me, I got a copy of every last one of them. These are the contract terms. All right. So typically,
and I got a copy of them right here. I'm gonna pull up a copy while we listening.
This relationship is typically governed by a service contract. Here are the terms: termination of services. For these services may be terminated if the obligee fails to cooperate. Those are the terms of the service agreement. They have to cooperate. Okay. So what I've done is I've copied and pasted this. All right. This is one I just read to you off their website. All right. You'll notice that the word child support is stricken because you now know there's no such thing as child support according to what the Supreme Court and the high courts have said. Okay. It does not exist. It was never intended to benefit individual children or custodial parents. All right. They don't have a right.
All right, so what is he really saying? Because the reason I'm going over his videos is because they go over people's heads and they can't understand it. What is he saying? There's no such thing as child support, and they had to stricken out child support because according to the Supreme Court ruling, child support is not for the child or the parent, but it's for the government treasury. It is not there to benefit the children or the woman. It's there to benefit welfare because they took money from welfare, giving welfare. So therefore, they have to recoup with child support. And that's why it was made. It was made to recoup from welfare. It was not made for women and children. And that was the court ruling. That's why they said it's not child support. It's Title 4D. But they're fraudulently calling it child support because they want people to say, oh, it's child. They want to use a child. Let's keep it going, though.
Right to it, and there's no entitlement to services. Title 4D was created to benefit the public treasury, not your seed, not your baby mamas. All right? So, here it is again. We provide services, so that proves that there are a service providers to parents who pay child support. Let me ask you a question. For those of you who they're stealing from, did you apply for these services? Did you ask them to help you pay this so-called non-existent child support? No, you did not. All right? And parents and caretakers who receive 4D. All right, 4D is a way for parents to share financial responsibility for their child. All right, that ain't none of the corporation's business. Okay? If a child,
and I got an excellent point. That's none of their business. It's not McDonald's business. This ain't the government. This is a private. In Cincinnati, there's somebody who owns child support. It's a different person in Cleveland. These are private businesses. They don't have no business in my. It's not even the government trying to get in my business. These are private corporations. They ain't got no right. But let me let him talk.
According to the Supreme Court, has no right to child support. Then where's your financial responsibility? Okay, don't take it wrong, gentlemen. You made it. Take care of it. I'm not saying that, but this is the law. Okay, here it is in black and white. Either parent or the child's caretaker can apply for our services. Did you apply for Title 4D services? And if you did not, then how is it that they are providing you services? They're not. They're robbing you blind. Okay? They're robbing you blind. All right? So, apply for our services to establish paternity. Look at the dictionary right here. Apply. Make a formal request. Well, wait a minute. You ever heard the pigs on the movies when they Mirandize somebody, say you have the right to remain silent? Do you have to fill out an application to obtain that right? No, you do not. That's the case in point you have a right to bear arms. So why is the gun store forcing you to fill out an application? That's a violation of your rights to them. Okay. So the objectivity is take their website and look at it. All right, and tear it down word for word. All right, none of this is legal. None of it at all. And for those of you who keep crying and whining like a little girl with a skin knee, guess what? Go down to the office and snatch somebody up. All right. Find out where they live. Okay? They know where you live. They know everything about you. Don't you think you need to be knowing something about them? So, paternity establishment. All right, I've already shared with you in the Federal Manual, Child Support, page 17. Without paternity establishment, there cannot be a 4D order. All right, there's no such thing as a 4D order, period, because it doesn't exist.
Yeah, and it doesn't exist. But one more thing, though, child support will forge your name on paternity establishment. They did it to me. I didn't sign the birth certificate because they did not let me sign the birth certificate. I actually wanted to. I didn't know better at the time. So I wanted to. But what happened, they did not allow me to. Later on, they want to get child support. So child support does an administrative order to force my name on there. These low-life people put my name on a contract I didn't sign. These people are ruthless. But let's continue, though. Let's let him talk.
All right? You order when you go to a restaurant. You order when you go to McDonald's drive-thru. That's an order. All right? If you're free, all right? If you're free, which the Constitution says you are, then nobody can order you to do anything, especially a contractor. Okay? So here's some definitions. Okay? Agreement. What? It's a contract. Apply. You're making a formal request. Did you make a formal request? All right, for 4D services? No, you did not. What is an entity? An entity is simply an existence. Okay? The 4D crime family is an entity. It simply exists in the state. All right? So check this out. Right here it says determining the child's legal father. Let's look at father. As used in law, all right? This term may, according to the context and nature of the instrument, and cannot be so construed to be a female. All right, what is an instrument? An instrument is a contract, gentlemen. Okay?
And you know what's crazy about that? You know, that's legalese. That's the Black's Law Dictionary. So just like the word bastard in the Bible means a man that has someone from a foreign nation be their father, but the word bastard here means someone who is fatherless. The word father in the legal definition of father deals with a contract. It's in the nature of a contract. So there's different definitions. Let's continue though.
That's all it is. An instrument is a contract. No more, no less. What was the case law? Pennhurst versus Haldeman School. As we have stated before, this Title 4D services is in the nature of a contract. There's 4 contracts. One between the federal government and the state. Okay, and then once the federal government comes into the state, the courts and the cops and the pigs and the clerks of courts and everybody else, they make a contract, right? Then you got the contract between.
Hold on, and we got that contract. Hold on, we got the contract. This one right here is the magistrates. Here go the magistrates. Let's zoom it in. Magistrate services. How much they making? $55 every time they come see you. Every time they see you. And this is not Judge Melissa Powers over here in Cincinnati. This is one of her little crony ass magistrates. You know what I'm saying? And I got the motherfucking King Snake. I got the motherfucking head of the magistrates. His picture on one of my videos. I got the motherfucking boss of the magistrates fucking with me, talking shit in the child support hearing. I'm like, listen, FOIA, Freedom of Information Act. That's an executive child support or Social Security Act or Title 4D is part of the executive branch. It's not judicial branch. I should get all that information through the Freedom of Information Act, in which I'm going. But when I say all the information, I need all those recordings of how the magistrates talk so damn dirty to me. Y'all would not believe how these people talk to me in those courts. Y'all wouldn't believe it. Y'all probably would though, because y'all see what kind of videos. If they see any of these, that you can understand why they talk to me crazy. And I sit there humble. How much these people getting? $1.3 million. Stop playing with them. This is how much the magistrates over there in Cincinnati getting. All right. This is their contract. But let's continue though. Let's let him keep talking.
Which is usually baby mama, and then there's a contract between you, which is usually paternity establishment. It is contractual in nature, fellas. Okay? That's all it is. Obligation, all right? Law or duty binding a party to perform their agreement. And undertaking to perform. Undertaking, what is a contract? Perform is a contract.
And what is he really trying to say? He's drilling this contract thing, but what is he really trying to say? He's trying to say, if you had child support, you supposed to sign a contract for every debt. That's what's called due process. That's how people are not enslaved. You can be enslaved with debt, okay? But with a debt like this, you have to sign a contract. Child support is contractual. And where did the contract? They violated your due process. It is a blatant violation. That's why the Social Security Act never passed through Congress. And that's why they need a contract. All right. But let's continue though. Let's keep it going.
Binding is a contract. An agreement is a contract. Okay. What is paternity? The legal establishment of fatherhood for a child. Okay. And that's done what? By the nature of an instrument, which is a contract. All right, perform. To perform an obligation or contract is to execute, fulfill, or accomplish it according to its terms. All right. Provide. They're a service provider. All right. To supply. What are they supplying? Nothing but life-altering shit that you don't want to go through. Responsibility. The obligation to answer for an act done. All right. Look, financial responsibility. So in other words, I've done a video on this. When you have sex with one of your concubines in a state, that gives the state jurisdiction over you, okay? The act done is sex and service. Performance of labor for benefit of another. All right, so guess what? It ain't to benefit the mom. It ain't to benefit your child. All right, it's to benefit the public treasury. Read your case laws, gentlemen.
And it's so true, because child support is not to benefit the mother or the damn kid. It's to benefit the government treasury. And how do we know that? Because Children's Services, see, if that woman, the one that loved the state, that will call and get them on child, all the rest of that, if that woman is by herself and they perceive her to be ignorant, the state will come in, say you don't have enough food in your refrigerator, you don't have enough this and that, and we're going to take your child and put you on child support. Child support is not for the woman. It's not for the child at all. All right? Don't get it twisted. The state will take you and put you in the system, put you in foster care, and put her in subjection just for that child support money. For that money that's going to the state. And get money when the kid go in the system and from you. But let's continue though.
Okay. Stop doing what you're doing and you'll stop getting what you're getting. Time to go to war, fellas. Okay. Now they done ran down there and smashed and grabbed that nation's capital. Don't you think you should be running down to the Department of Human or Social Services and doing the same thing? Okay. All these people who are ruining your lives are getting away with it. They get to go home and sleep good at night. And you're sitting there worried about your check being garnished or your driver's license. Well, that's your problem because you're cowards. Don't take it personal. It's just business. Go find these service providers, all right, and make sure Because if they don't go to work, they can't provide this service. If the building is closed and burning in flames, they can't provide this service. If they're too scared to come out of their house because they fear you, they can't provide this service. I'm the Amen Osiris. If you need help, bang the email. Okay, it's a consultation. And if you have a consultation coming, gentlemen, shoot me the email. I do apologize. I've had some issues with the new office, some pipes. It's been a total nightmare, but
writing's not that easy.
So we're going to check out another one. Yeah, another one. An Amen Osiris video. Let's continue, though.
Protect. I am the Amen Osiris, the one and only undisputed God of law. We are Deception Stoppers, America's only child support education service, the 4D destroyer. I am not a lawyer. This is not a law firm. I do not advocate that you don't support your human offspring. I simply advocate that you made them in private and you take care of them in private. And today, I'm going to show you and prove to you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that you can't sue a judge when the judge is acting under his constitutional duties and oath. All right, but you can sue the contractor. Okay. Now it says sue the judge. What judge? Sue the contractor. It's just that simple. And we're going to go into this. All right. And anybody who's telling you that you cannot sue the judge, the prosecutor, the sheriff, the clerk of the court, because they have immunity, they're dead wrong in this. All right. So although I'm not here to prove anybody wrong, what I'm here to do is educate you so you can move forward in what you need to do to get your life in order. All right, which is to get this 4D crime family off your back. Okay.
Now, what is he saying though? What is he really saying though? You can sue them because they're under a contract. Look at the contract. That's the contract. So you can't sue a judge if they're not under a contract and they're just going by the Constitution. You cannot sue a judge. I apologize for somebody who lied to you, but you can't sue a judge if they're acting under their constitutional duties. But the one surefire way of showing misconduct is when they're under a contract. And right here is the contract here in Hamilton County. Well, right here, this is Department of Job and Family Services giving how much money? Y'all already seen it. $1.3 million. Stop playing with them. All right, but let's continue though.
And everything here is quoted. You scroll down a little bit. Okay. This is from the Federal Manual Child Support, page 22. Federal regulations also contain additional requirements related to the expedited process. Proceedings conducted pursuant to either the expedited judicial or expedited administrative process must be presided over by an individual who is not a judge of the court. Okay, so what judge are you going to sue? Okay, now, this is the funny part, and I know you guys know this, but redundancy. Orders established by expedited process must have the same force and effect under state law. Okay, so you see that? As orders established by full judicial process. Okay? Although the process may provide that a judge first ratify the order. What judge? A judge that cannot and does not sign a child support order. A contractor does, but not a judge. Okay? Now, this is coming from, I've got excerpts, and gentlemen.
And really, what he's saying is, it's a contractor. It's not a judge. Meaning, yeah, you may be a teacher by day, but when you're under contract, you are we are in a contract with Uber. You are no longer a teacher. You are something else. You are under contract with another entity paying you money to do what's in the best interest of them. And that's what's happening. Child support has paid And that's why you can sue their asses. $1.3 million to the juvenile court just to magistrates alone. That's just the fake ass judges, because the judge can't preside over child support. So a magistrate alone, they giving them $1.3 million in child support. And they're not in their constitutional duties. Magistrates are not even judges. And we're going to get this 1,000% straight. Magistrates are not judges. They are who the judge appoints. People vote for the judge of the juvenile court. Melissa Powers was voted in over here in Cincinnati as a juvenile court judge. And she, because she's the leader of that division, can appoint magistrates. And that's what she did. She appointed low-life ass magistrate, and they ain't nothing but lawyers. That's it. They're just lawyers. They can lie, whatever. That's all they is. So, and even these lawyers, they got to take classes every year. They got to have a certain amount of hours of classes every year just to maintain their little magistrate status, because they're not a judge. And every time you go into child support, you're dealing with magistrates. All right? But let me continue, though. Let's let him continue.
If you want to find out and tear down child support, get their contracts. Okay? With one contract, you can destroy, you can get the 4D crime family off your back. All right? More importantly, it allows you to lay down a line of suppressive fire, okay, to keep the enemy at bay. All right, and it allows you to protect your line. Reason being, okay, because with that contract, you can prove that that's not a judge. You're not a judge. All right? And look, what you do is you walk.
And our people need to know that. They're talking about a referee doing something. That's what these people is. Magistrates are referees, bro. They are not judges. All right? Go to court, blow the whistle. File. You know what I'm saying? That's what they is. Let's continue, though.
Sir, ma'am, if you decide to go, can I ask a question? Sure, I'll let you ask a question, right? Are you a judge, or are you a 45 CFR 75.2 contractor? So I got asked.
Hey, yo, and the CFR, that right there is dealing with law. You know what I'm saying? So you would have to go to exactly what that is, look it up. All these different laws that the brother bring out show how these people are violating them. And they know they violate them. They so damn dirty, they can make up laws and still violate them. Let's continue, though.
All right. Then, when they say, I don't know what you're talking about, you go take the actual contract in there. Well, I have the contract here between the executive branch and the judicial branch. That's a violation of separation of powers. Number two,
right. This right here, let's zone back out. This right here. Now we look at it for what it is. You go up. What do we see at the beginning? From Jump Street. Zoom in. Let's go up. Okay. Department of Job and Family Services. What is this? What is this? Let's look at it. This right here is who is bribing the people over there in the juvenile court here in Cincinnati. They're bribing them to keep me away from my baby. All right? Why do you think I'm on here? So the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services, Office of Child Support, Fiscal Administration Contract Unit. Okay? They have a contract unit. So what I'm thinking to myself is the contract unit can't only be dealing with the juvenile court and the sheriff's office. How many other people is child support contracting with? Now, listen, let me tell you. In fact, I'm glad I got this open. Let me show you something. And I don't know what page it is, but I just hope I can get there. Okay, hold on. Let's hope this thing load. All right, let me see. All right, it's right here. All right, so but look, they got who they contracting with. Now, look at it. Juvenile court. This is who they giving money to. But look at this though. I used to work at this school. Hillcrest School. Yes. In Wyoming, all the way up Vine Street. In Cincinnati, Hillcrest Academy. Why is child support giving Hillcrest Academy money? How many contracts does child support have with different child support is paying not only the juvenile court, but they're also paying Hillcrest Academy School. So is child support moving kids from the court to Hillcrest School? We gotta think about it. It's on the contract. It's the same contract. Well, but this page 28. This is the last page. Hold on. This is page 28. Boom. Let's go all the way up to the top. Hold on. Okay, let's say everybody they bribing. Job and Family Services. Job and Family Services is not only giving money to the prosecutor, the sheriff, the magistrate, the clerk, domestic relations. That's divorce court. Yeah, child support given to the sheriff. Child support is given to everybody. What's really going on? But not only that, like I said, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let them continue. Let's go to the last page, page 28. Boom, right here. Hillcrest School. I worked there. I worked at Hillcrest School. What I would say is the reason I believe that I was let go is because I really did not like. I didn't tell on the kids as much as I was supposed to. You're supposed to report everything, and I really didn't like doing that every day. Saying, "Oh, he did this wrong. He did that wrong." But right here, this is a school for kids with felonies. They did robberies. They did, maybe someone might have did killers. All types of things. Hillcrest School, drugs, all types of things. Children's services type kids. Or they had a mother and father. But like I said, child support is given to this school. But let's continue though, because I don't want to take up
in the capacity of a contractor, you're an administrator for the agency, not the court. All right. So another thing is the court shall certify, this is from the actual contract, that all court hearings are conducted in compliance with 4D of the Social Security Act. Number one, it's not a court hearing. So that's a lie. All right. Number two, Title 4D of the Social Security Act was never enacted in positive. Never enacted. It's a non-positive law title, which makes.
So when you go into child support, it's not a court hearing. This man is a contractor. All right. It's not a court hearing. It right there is he's conducting business. He's conducting a franchise like McDonald's. That's what he's conducting. It's not a court. Child support is not a court because it's treason. Child support is treason. All right. And what is treason? Treason is when you intentionally and purposely violate the Constitution and the separation of powers doctrine. See, the separation of powers doctrine is very strong, but nowadays there is weakened. That's when you have an executive branch, you have a judicial branch, and you have a legislative branch. And the executive branch is what houses child support. Child support is in there with driving, because you can travel without driving. You don't have to do that, but that's like the color of law. So child support is in the executive branch, like passports. It's in the executive branch of the government. So for the executive branch to bribe, and when we say bribe, we go back here. They're giving them money. They're giving them money. Bribing the court, bribing, and they have a contract division. So they're not only bribing the court, they bribing this juvenile detention center with all the kids that was taken away and mama put on child support. You know what I'm saying? Not all of them, but yeah, that's the case. Right? Why is child support given to the juvenile detention centers? Why? I'm gonna let him talk though.
It's commercial, which makes it contractual. Okay? This is not a court hearing. All right? And it's being enforced under color of law.
People with ADHD save 10 hours reading.
Because it's commercial, it has to. All right, commercial requires a contract. As we explained in Penhurst State School and Hospital versus Holden, such an agreement is in the nature of a contract.
Child support is a contract. Child support is commercial. It's commercial, family. Child support is commercial. It's a commercial. It's like McDonald's. Somebody own it. I'm about to get the papers. I'm gonna let him roll, but I'm gonna get the papers. I got the papers on me. I'm gonna go look for the papers on who owned child support in Cincinnati, and I'm gonna be right back. All right, I'm gonna let him talk.
The state promises to provide certain services to private individuals in exchange for which the federal government promises to give the state funds. All right, that child support enforcement agency, gentlemen, even though it's in the Department of Health and Human Services or Attorney General, doesn't matter. That is not a state agency. That is a single and separate entity that's operating in the state under a contract with the feds. Okay, the federal OCSC oversees the National Child Support Program. All right, so the feds supervise the states. That's who the states work for. All right, but it is contractual. Now, here it is again.
Hey, yo, look, I don't have them all with me, but I'm going to do a live where I'm going to show you, you know what I'm saying, what individual owns child support in Cincinnati, and we going to sue his ass. All right, but right here, this right here is not, it's Ohio Secretary of State, but this right here is in Willoughby, Ohio. This is outside of Cleveland. But somebody, Fathers Against the Corrupt Child Support System in Ohio of America, right here. Fathers Against Corrupt Child Support System in Ohio. Like, this is the only one I got over here. But if you go to Secretary of State website, you can see who owns child support. So somebody owns child support here. It's a franchise like McDonald's. It's a franchise like Chipotle. So somebody got to grab it before somebody else do. And that's what happened. Child support is a business. It's not a government agency. And I need y'all to know that. But let me continue though.
And this is we pulled this out of Blessings versus Freestone. In contract law, when such an arrangement is made, A promises to pay B money. So K is the federal government. B is the 4D agency operating in the state. In exchange for which B, promises to provide C, that's baby mama, the person who receives the benefit of exchange of promises between the two others. C is called a third-party beneficiary. That's another reason why you can't go after baby mama. All right. Again, coming from the contract, okay, the following terms and definitions apply to this rule and its supplemental rules. Now, this is from Black's Laws. It didn't come from the contract, but we're gonna get right to what it says. All right, and this is directly from the contract breakdown from the state. Contract refers to a private or governmental entity with whom the CSCA enters into a contract. All right. So it says governmental entity with whom the CSEA. The CSEA is not a governmental entity, gentlemen. Okay. Governmental entity includes the following entities in the same county as the CSEA, Child Support Enforcement Agency. And so here, all right, so this is a contractor. The court, which means the judge is a contractor. The prosecutor is a contractor. The sheriff is a contractor. The clerk of court is a contractor. The recorder's office is a contractor.
Whoa. The record, that's why they don't want to give me the audio visual. I'm gonna have to sue the damn recording office. Damn. I didn't even, that's why they don't want to give me the audio visual. Man, like the Freedom of Information Act, you know what I'm saying? Couldn't pry it out their hands, but that was with my custody case. I gotta try child support. Because child support, they know they dirty. Don't play with me, child support. Let's continue though.
The treasurer's office is a contractor, and any other public governmental agencies or officials are contractors if they're performing services under Title 4D. All right, now, let's look at the word contractor from two other different perspectives, Black's Law's Dictionary and the Code of Federal Regulations. Contractor. This term is strictly applicable to any person who enters into a contract. All right, I'll leave it there. Okay, now, 45 CFR 75.2. Contractor means an entity that receives a contract as defined in contract. Let's look at what a 4D contract is. A 45 CFR 32.34.
Okay. And he found exactly where it's at. And that's why I like listening to Osiris. Because this brother, let me go back. I ain't gonna do too much. I was trying to zoom in to his 45 CFR, and he shows you exactly where it's at. So what you do, you type that in or you copy and paste that. And when you do that on Google, it shows how that's the contract that they're under. So you are able to show them exactly in the law what they're doing. All right. That's basically what he's doing right there. All right, 45 CFR 302.3334. It's a 4D contract, right? 4D, see, Title 4D is like, you know, when you think about Social Security, the Social Security Act was an act that never passed through Congress, but everybody loves Social Security. But why didn't Social Security ever pass through Congress? Because it's dirty. It's dirty. Social Security is too dirty to pass through Congress. But people still use Social Security, welfare, and the rest of it, but it's too dirty to pass through Congress. Why? Even right now with Nancy Pelosi low-life ass, it cannot pass through Congress and become law. Why don't they make Social Security law and child support actually law? Why? Because it's too dirty. It's too wicked. That's why they had to make it a business, a private entity. That's why you have to sue they asses. You have to fight, defund child support. But let's continue.
It's a mutually binding legal relationship obligating a governmental entity to provide 4D services in 4D cases and perform other administrative duties of who? The Child Support Enforcement Agency that pertain to a 4D cases in return for payment by the CSEA. They are taking bribes. Okay? This is, so when you think you're going to court, you're not going to court. That is all from the Child Support Enforcement Agency.
And that's important. That's why I'm gonna have to come in the screen. That's important. When you're going to child support court, you're not going to court. All right? You're not going to court. These people, hold on, let's go back. Let's zoom out. Let's zoom it back out. And let's zoom it back in. So you're not going to court. Let me show you. And that's very important, what he just said. Because when you walk in that court with them child support low life motherfuckers, check this out. Unit rate is $55.89 per entry. Okay? But let me go further, since I have an inkling to go further with this shit. Let's go into their contract. They showing them, they don't give them $1.3 million right there. That's what they're going to give them. You're not going into a court where they're going to be fair to you. It will never be fair to you in this court. They're paying these people to screw you. In fact, I'm gonna pass this. I'm gonna pass this part. Contractor must utilize statewide child support guidelines in establishment and modification of child support orders. What does this say on number one? Number one, these people are being bribed. You're not going to court. But what does it read in their contract? Contractor must utilize the statewide child support guidelines in establishment and modification of child support orders. Can y'all see that? Contractor, what? They got to use. So listen, y'all. What is this? What does that mean? These people are using child support. Well, when you go into a magistrate hearing over with child support services, they got to follow guidelines of child support. They can't follow guidelines of the law. They can't follow guidelines of the Constitution. They follow guidelines of the statewide child support. Okay? Do y'all see it? Contractor must. Who the contractor? Who the contractor in this shit? Let's go back. Let's go back up. Let's go back up. Let's go back up. Let's go back up. We already know who the contractor. I just want to see it again. Dang. Okay, where the contractor at? That's the clerk. Oh, wait, right here. All right. The magistrate. So who axed out? Who axed right here? Who axed? Magistrate services. All right. They're the contractor. And they got to go by the guidelines of child support. They get paid. How much they get paid? Let's go back. $55 every time they come in front of you to go through child support guidelines and to screw you. You're in slavery. This is involuntary servitude. All right. Remember the 13 Amendment? Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude except as a punishment. Well, no. These magistrates get paid to follow child support guidelines. They have to if they want their $55 every time a black, white, Hispanic man walk in front of their ass. Okay? Chinese and Indian and the rest of you. When you walk in front of him, he get paid to follow their rules, child support rules, not you. You're the slave. You are the slave. Let's continue, though.
Okay, it has nothing to do with the court, right? It has nothing to do with the law. It has nothing to do with the Constitution. And it does not have nothing to do with judicial activities as prescribed by the law. Okay, these are administrative duties that they're performing for a private corporation. Check it out. Look. And here we go. Private entity means and this is on the contract. Private entity means a company, organization, or individual that does not meet the definition of governmental entity. Let's go back up to the definitions of governmental entity. Includes, look, Does anybody see the Child Support Enforcement Agency here listed as a governmental entity? No, because it is not. Okay? The government does not go into a contract with itself. Why would the government contract with itself? Okay? It goes into a contract with the 42 USC 654-3 single and separate unit operating in the state. Okay?
And who is that? That's Child Support Services. Yes, sir.
Okay. The Child Support Enforcement Agency is under it's under what's called the Social or Human Services Umbrella Corporation. An umbrella corporation acts like as an agent to employer to agency contractors who work on a fixed rate contract. Okay, so if there's an order with a judge's signature on it, I'm sorry, that's a void order. That's a contractor.
Good grammar and spelling are important, but if
And why is it a void order? Once again, why is it a void order? Let's go back. I got to go back. Let's go. This is why when you go over there with them low lifes over there, the juvenile court over there, Hamilton County, over here in Cincinnati, why is it a void order? What they give you? What does one say? Let I don't want to go to. Let me see. What does it say on number 1? Contractor must utilize the statewide child support guidelines in the establishment and modification of child support orders. What does that mean? That means this contractor has no choice but to put you on child support. He has no choice to put you on child support. He get paid to put you on child support. I don't care how much you want to come to him and say, I'm a good father. I love my child. My child get most of his stuff from me. My child is with me all the time. I want my child with me all the time. I desire to take care and feed and give. It doesn't matter. The contractor, who is the magistrate over there in the juvenile court right here with Judge Melissa Powers, all right? The contractor must utilize statewide child support guidelines in the establishment and modification of child support orders, okay? And copy of the guidelines, you got to hold a copy with you, or you ain't getting no money, you low life ass magistrate. But let's continue though. Let's continue.
Okay, this is a private corporation operating in the state. 42 USC 652A states that the federal office of child support is a separate unit. Separate means apart by itself. But when it moves into the state, it becomes single and separate, alone, apart and by itself. It's not connected to anything. Okay? So, let's keep it moving.
And why don't they want it connected to nothing? Because they know how low down and dirty it is. See, they fool you into believing it's called child support and you're giving to the woman and why you don't want to pay. But the law say it ain't. You can't even call it child support. They got a stricken child out the record because it's not for the child. It's because when they give welfare, they say they have to recruit money. They have to recoup money with Title 4D. Title 4A of the child support. Let me rewind. Title 4A of the Social Security Act. Title 4A of the Social Security Act, where you get Social Security number and Social Security everything. Title 4A is welfare. And with all the money given with welfare, Title 4D is to recoup the money. And what is Title 4D? Title 4D is better known as child support. So the federal government has ruled that child support is not for a woman. That child support is not because of the child. Child support is because to recoup welfare money. Therefore, you don't have a right to it, woman. You don't have a right to it because we'll take your child from you and put you on child support if the father ain't around and can't nobody get custody. We're going to take it, we're going to put you on child support. But let's continue though, fam.
Here you have a judge, right? Alleged judge who signs a warrant for your arrest, and the sheriff's office affects that warrant. Can't you sue these two people? All right, you want to know how you can sue them? All right. We all know that. So that judge, when he signed that warrant, he did that. That was a contractual obligation. Look, what? 4D contract means a mutually binding legal relationship obligating a governmental entity to provide 4D services. Warrants for child support is a 4D service. That's a contractual obligation. That's not a judicial privilege or duty.
And I'm going to show that. People know me as being conservative and being for police. I'm never for police shooting down and killing somebody unjustly. One brother was shot down. He was running from the police. He thought he was going to get arrested for child support and shot down. I don't think that's okay. You know, but the reason I support the police is most of the police officers are men and males. And let me tell you why. I'm an activist. I go out, I have a canopy, I have a table and chairs and a microphone and a speaker. And I go out and I talk to I talk on the microphone in certain places I know people are at as an activist. And the 2 times I was confronted by police, because it was another time I was supposed to be, but they didn't ever walk up. And it was women, but they never walked up. But the 2 times I was confronted by police doing activist work, the police were males. They were men. And when they walked up and they heard what I was talking about, they told me their situation. They shook my hand and they left. They had no problem with what I was saying. And in fact, I'm going to tell you, it was one black one and it was one white one. And let me just tell this story real quick. So with the black one, I was in front of the Kroger's, you know what I'm saying? Downtown Cincinnati. Father's rights. I wasn't signing no signatures at that time for city council or nothing. I was just father's rights. You know what I'm saying? I don't have my baby. So, you know what I'm saying? Okay, I hear you. But they doing it to us because no one to make them stop doing it. I hear you, family. That was a long time ago. See, let me put I'm gonna put the invite up for anybody that want to join the live stream. But yeah, so when I was outside with then the police came. Every time the police came, they overlooked me. Because what I was talking about was something that they know that's going to help them. When I say that these people need fathers in their house, the reason they so emotional and erratic is because they don't have a father to teach them to control it. The white police officer that approached me in front of, I think that's 1,000. What is that shit where everybody, if you're from Cincinnati, the court building where everybody pay their, you know what I'm saying, traffic tickets and all that, right there downtown. I think it's a 1,000 Main Street or something like that. He walked up on me. I was telling him what I was talking about. And he was telling me how it took him about 3 to 5 years to get his kid. He was telling me after he got a divorce, and he was explaining to me these different things, and then he shook my hand, and he said he gonna look up my organization. He said he gonna look it up. I said fight. He said, what is it called? Fighting for Fatherhood. I'm gonna look it up. I don't think he ever did. I don't know if he did. I don't know. Now it was a black one. This was when I was in front of Kroger's. He was telling me he was going through that shit. It's crazy. You know, some police officers don't go through this shit. Now, I don't want to keep elaborating like I'm not scared of no motherfucking body. I am a pro police because there are a lot of men who are going through shit in the police department and need help too. And they're happy to hear me. That's the only reason that you would say, he is because I'm conservative, or I'm not for defunding the police. No, it's because it's a bunch of men doing men things. Okay? And these manly men who are out here being police officers go through the same thing all men go through. All right. But even when the female police officers came through, they just didn't say nothing. They were standing in the background type shit and didn't say anything. You know what I'm saying? But so when it comes to police, they don't like Black Lives Matter. They might clash with the police. I'm telling you, I'm for the nuclear family. The police are not going to be, you know what I'm saying? So therefore, I don't hate them because they don't hate what I'm talking about. Now, when they start hating, if I see some hating, then, I may change my thing. But from my experience, they like the message that I'm putting out, okay? But let me continue, though. I might be talking too much. Let me make it also clear that, shooting any of my people, I'm an Israelite. Shooting anybody, killing anybody unjustly, you murder, thou shalt not murder. That's the 10 Commandments. You shall surely be put to death. All right. So if someone's killed unjustly by a police officer, then they should be put to death. That's what the Almighty say. That's what I agree with. But I'm just throwing it out there. I continue though.
Okay. Now, here it is right here, gentlemen. Okay, and you can find this on the back of all the contracts if you look. And if you don't have it, it still applies. Independent capacity for the contractor. The contractor and its agents, employees, and subcontractors will act in performance of this 4D contract in an independent capacity and what? Not as officers or employees or agents of the state or the Child Support Enforcement Agency. It doesn't say that.
Now, you see how I say that right there? What is he really saying right there? Now, let me roll in this. Let me roll in the screen. What is he really saying right there? What he's saying is that those magistrates are not working for child support or for the state. When they sign a contract to get $55 to screw you out your rights, your due process, and everything, they're not working for child support. Now, why does they put that there? Because they know they're liable to get sued. They know they're doing dirt. They know that these magistrates who they're contracting with, and I'm going to show you that in a second. I'm going to let him talk a little bit, and I'm going to show you the actual contract here in Cincinnati where it says the same thing he's talking about right now. But let's continue, though.
The State Child Support Enforcement Agency. It says the state or they're two. This is separate. It's not a state agency. Okay? If you read the contract, it'll tell you that. So, if someone's telling you you can't sue a judge because they have immunity, yes, if the judge is performing his judicial function, sure he has immunity. But not in Title 4D, he's not a judge. All right? And it says it right here. You're a contractor. And as a contractor, you're not officer or employee or agents of the state or the Child Support Enforcement Agency. You're all by yourself, buddy. Take this lawsuit. Give me my money. All right? They don't get immunity. Now, there's some case laws, right? Immunity does not extend to acts which are clearly outside of their jurisdiction. They don't get immunity when they are performing contractual obligations for a non-governmental entity, for a private.
Now, right here, I got the contract for Cincinnati right here. Indemnity. When the contractor is a private entity, the contractor shall certify that it will not at all times during the existence of this 4D contract indemnify and hold harmless the Child Support Enforcement Agency, the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services, and the Board of County Commissioners or the county administrator in the same county as the Child Support Enforcement Agency against any and all liability, loss, damage, and or related expenses incurred through the provision of services under this 4D contract. What does that mean? What does that mean? What that means is that when they get sued, you can't sue child support. When those lawyers and those magistrates over there get sued, you can't sue the state. You got to sue them. You got to sue them because you can't sue the state. Because they signed a contract saying that when they doing this dirt for the state, when they doing this dirt for child support, you can't be a part. You got to be a private, separate person. You got to be a contractor apart from them. They don't want to have nothing to do with the dirt that you doing. And it's in the contract. Let's continue, though. This is what he's talking about. This is a contract right here from Cincinnati that we got. But let's go back to his stuff.
Private entity. Okay? When acting to enforce statute and its subsequent amendments, the present date, the judge of the municipal court is acting as an administrative officer and not in a judicial capacity. Courts in administering or enforcing statutes do not act judicially, but merely ministerially. And he will tell you this is in accordance with state law, this and that, right? Okay. Now, here we go. A judge ceases to sit as a judicial officer because the governing principle of the administrative law provides that courts are prohibited from substituting their evidence, testimony, record arguments, and rationale for that of the agency. Who is the agency? The Child Support Enforcement Agency. Additionally, courts are prohibited from substituting their judgment for that of the agency. What agency? The Title 4D agency, the single and separate unit operating in the state. Courts in administrative issues are prohibited from even listening to or hearing arguments, presentation, or rationale. Okay? So, gentlemen, a judge does not have immunity. Okay? A judge has immunity. A 4D contractor, a 45 CFR 75.2 contractor does not have immunity.
And that's one of the biggest things I want you to take away from this presentation. I wish I said at the beginning. When you walk into child support, those magistrates can be sued. Those magistrates are doing dirt. Those magistrates are under a contract. Those magistrates cannot be fair to you. They cannot be just to you. They cannot do the right thing to you. They're going to do you dirty in that court. They're already given money to do it. And we got the 2009. I'm showing you a 2019 contract. I imagine that the money went up, and I need to get my white family of the Father's Rights Movement, because I'm gonna tell you the reason that we made so much ground because there's so many white men who are getting done dirty as fuck. Good men. Good white men, upstanding, go to work every day, got morals, are being done dirty. So they have helped me out and given me all these contracts. Yes. We are locking arms. But see, when I met this white man from Kansas, he was part of the suicide hotline. See, men are killing themselves 3 times as much as women. And most of the time is because they're on child support and they cannot see their children. But nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about men who are dying. Men who want to love their kid. who live for their kids. When you get a certain age and you reproduce, you want to give to your kid. You want to give to your child. You want to do right by what you produced. And it gives you joy to do that. But they feel like men don't have no emotions. But men are killing themselves, especially white men. I don't want to make it a joke because it's not a joke. I'm going through the misery myself. And what I'm saying is, you know what I'm saying? I have to be strong. You know what I'm saying? I never thought to do anything like that, kill myself, because I know the Almighty gave me a gift. But at the same time, though, I have been depressed because I was not able to love my baby. Because when you love your mother, when you love a woman, when you love anything that's alive, well, I can't say that because dogs and shit are a little different than humans. This is my point is, it's a selfless act to give to your baby. Nobody's going to say, why did you give your baby? Oh, because you want something in return. Because you want something in return. That's the only reason you're doing right by your baby, because you want something in return. No. Simply because I want to do right by my offspring. It's a good feeling. But I'm going to continue, though. And like I said, the juvenile court took that feeling from me. But let's continue, though.
All right. If you want freedom, you got to dig, gentlemen. You got to dig deep. See, we like to take it here. We boldly go where no people just, you don't even know where it's at. We're showing it to you. So this is a small dissertation to show you that if you've been wronged by a contractor who's impersonating a judge, and also impersonating a public officer is a crime, isn't it? False personation, look that up. You're impersonating a judge. You ain't no judge, you're a contractor. You're under a 4D contract. And let me see something here.
So you tried going cold turkey on him, but that hasn't worked. But if you want to get him back, keep watching because I will show you.
Let's see something here. All right. Let me show you something. We're going to go to types of contracts. All right. It says the types of contracts that the CSEA may elect to enter into include, but are not limited to, look, a contract with the prosecutor to provide private attorneyship, a contract with the prosecutor to provide service of process, including warrants and arrests, a contract with the sheriff to provide service of process, including warrants for arrest. All right, the time a sheriff arrests somebody for child support, they get paid for that shit. All right, that benefits their Title 40 contract. All right, check this out. A contract with the court or clerk of court in the same county as the CSEA to provide the duties of a clerk of court that are initiated by the CSEA. Ooh. You're initiating actions for a private corporation under a contractual obligation.
So, if McDonald's want to take your money, would you let McDonald's? This is a private corporation. This is like if I start something, like Fighting for Fatherhood, which is on the Secretary of State website. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue, though.
You don't get immunity. Look, a 4D contract with the court in the same county as the CSEA to provide magistrate services, the CSEA may elect to purchase. All right. Number 7, a 4D contract with the court in the same county as the CSEA. All right. I know you all see this for probation services to provide enforcement duties that target only individuals placed on probation for non-payment of child support when the enforcement duties of the probation are. Right? You can find that yourself. All right? So, gentlemen, and then here it is right here. The court shall certify that all areas are conducted with compliance with the Title 40 of the Social Security Act. All right? Non-positive law title. They're acting under color of law. Okay? You can can sue them under 1983 if you so chose. That is your discretion, gentlemen. And then when they come back and motion to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction and judicial immunity, guess what? Bam. You'll already have all that made up. I'm sorry, you don't get immunity. See, again, gentlemen, when you write
and it's about the brothers writing documents, and it's really not all that. See, the fact is, I don't get a lot of backing, but the fact is, if we all work together, we can do this together. It's easy to do. When we talk about a class action against child support, we just get a lot of people to sign on and do the same thing. Do the same thing on different days. And we're going to do it. We're writing a class action against them, and we're going to destroy their asses, whether people know it or not. Let's continue, though.
Your documents are for the judge. Remember that. That's who your documents are speaking to. Okay, don't just slap some stuff down. All right, give the judge something to read. And when you give it to him to read, all right, make sure that it keeps his attention. All right, what you want that judge to be saying when he reads your documents, you want that judge to be saying, damn, well, this existed. Let me go look this up. Wow, damn, he's right. Give it to him. My hands are tied. Okay, that's the objectivity of creating affidavits, gentlemen. When that judge reads your affidavit, all right, you want two things to happen. You want to piss that judge off, right? And the reason why you want to piss him off, because the gig is up. Your friends are busted. And also, gentlemen, if you decide to file something in a state court, do not forget. Tell them you want a detached and neutral judge. You want a judge who is under oath, operating under the Constitution and not under a 4D contract. If you get a 4D contractor, you're going to lose. You have to specifically demand, I want a detached and neutral judge. If you get a detached and neutral judge, all right, and your documentation is on point, gentlemen, it's a wrap. Now, I'm not talking federal court. I'm talking, if you decide to take it to state court. Federal court, you don't have to worry about that. But
all right. That's an indictment against me. Need a detached and neutral judge when dealing with the situation. But let's continue, though.
The judge does not get immunity, okay? The contractor does not get immunity, okay? And here it is right here. This is the